I'm literally sitting in my car at my storage unit, crying my eyes out because I'm like, Jesus, please. I'm ready for my own place. I'm ready for my own space again. You're now watching Misha J, My Life. Oof. See, what is that? No. Hey, best friend. Welcome back to my channel. As you've seen the title, yes, I moved into a new unit. Many of you know that I was working from home for like 2 years or so. I ended up leaving. So I'm gonna be telling y'all about that and excuse me, my current living situation. So yeah, y'all, I hope that y'all enjoy. I just wanted to come on here and open up the video and let y'all guys know what this video is gonna be about. Without further ado, let's get into it. Good morning. It is actually a brand new day. I actually just got home. I stayed the weekend with my parents. So, the only thing that I got done really was my bedroom and a little bit of my bathroom. But I still have a whole lot to go. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff to do, y'all. So since I am home, it is Sunday morning. I'm about to get ready to give me some clothes and stuff to get ready for church, but I do want some coffee, so I'm gonna try to get the kitchen in order so I can make me a small cup of coffee.
Never been to medical school, but I did know a doctor who's never lost a patient. Over the next 3 days, I watched my mother with tears in her eyes. You never lost your faith because you knew God was still able.
I really been using this instant coffee a lot, y'all. Like, y'all, you missing out. When you don't have your coffee pot, resort to the instant coffee, okay? And they have it in Folgers, so if you are the type of coffee drinker that loves your Folgers, they definitely have it in that too. So, best friend, I finally got all the boxes and everything cleaned up in my apartment. We're gonna sit on the balcony and I'm gonna talk to y'all. So remember when I posted a video, I think it was like 8 months ago, I was telling y'all that my remote job, they wouldn't allow me to nurse my son. And at the time, you know, Khaled was like, what, 2 months? And what I didn't tell y'all in that video was that next day when the email was sent out saying that we got longer time and, you know, all of this stuff that they were talking about in the email, in my spirit, y'all, I felt like I was on assignment. And then I heard from God and he said, your job here is done. Now, at that time, I didn't know exactly what that meant. I thought maybe he was talking about, okay, you know, the fight is over. You know, you can now not have the stress. You know, your milk won't continue to decrease, and you can feed your baby when you need to. You know, you ain't got to stress about all of that. But I was up at like 3 in the morning a few days after that, and I literally was like, God, I think that you meant that I need to leave my job. I ended up typing up my letter to be able to send to my manager about leaving. Once I sent that letter and I was completely done, I just felt so at peace. I felt so at peace. And the goals that I had written down, I literally like immediately started working towards them. I reached my goal. I asked God for a sign. I was like, if I hit 1K subscribers before a certain date, like, I know that this is you. You know, you are confirming this to me. So I think I'm gonna go in because my camera is not acting right. So yeah, I left my job 2 or 3 weeks before King's 2nd birthday. When I left my job, I hit 1K. I felt amazing, y'all. Like, I felt like I was on track. But I did fill out an application at Burlington where we lived at. When I filled it out, they sent me a message, you know, telling me to basically schedule my interview, and they would call me. So I scheduled it for like the next day or whatever. And the next day came, and I'm looking at my phone like, okay, they haven't called, but in the email it did say that if they did not call in like 15 minutes or whatever, that means that the store is busy, and I can actually call them, you know, just to remind them, saying, hey, you know, I have an interview, whatever, woo. So I ended up calling them, and I didn't get an answer. So I was like, okay, fine, I ain't gonna worry about it. And I literally took that as, okay, God, you don't want me to work right now. You don't want me to work at Burlington, because I thought about it. I was like, you know, I'm just not going to leave my husband just paying all the bills. You know, I wanted to not work during the day, mainly during the day. And I wanted to be able to spend time with the boys and be with them all day long. And then at night, whenever they're asleep, then I would go to work. That was the plan. And still do YouTube during the day, whatever, right? So I went in there into Burlington a week later, and I ended up talking to the manager, and I was like, hey, so I was supposed to have an interview last week, and I called and nobody answered, so I'm just trying to see if I can still do my interview. Are you guys still hiring or what? And she was like, well, let me write your name down and your number, and we'll give you a call. And I was like, okay, cool, because she said the manager was doing something. So I ended up leaving, and then later on that day, I got a phone call, and she asked me like 2 or 3 little questions or whatever, and then I asked her a question because I think I was getting ready to dye my hair or something like that, and I just wanted to make sure that that was okay, you know, that I could have colored hair. And she was, yeah, that's fine, whatever, real nice. And then she was like, I'm gonna send you an email so you can start orientation. I literally waited like a whole hour and I didn't receive anything. Like, days went by, I didn't receive nothing. So I just, again, okay, God, obviously, because why is it taking so long? Like, what are they doing? You know, it's frustrating when I used to go in that store a lot. So I know that there's people there. I know that they're hiring. They have big signs up saying that they're hiring. But this is how you know that God is in the midst of things. When stuff is not making sense, you cannot lean, you know, to your own understanding. If God is in the midst, it's not gonna make sense all the time, right? So like I said, I knew that God was doing something, because I'm like, okay, you allowed me to leave my last job. That's what you wanted me to do. You allowed me to hit 1K on YouTube, because that was a goal of mine. I said if it was in your will, you would allow it to happen before a certain date, you know. And it happened. And then I told him about getting a job at Burlington, and it was the process that took forever, and I was trying to be patient, and it never happened. It never came through. Like, still to this day, I mean, I'm in a whole nother city now, but still, I never got the email. You know what I'm saying? Like, God knew exactly what was getting ready to happen. So after losing the house and I had to come back to my hometown, so I stayed with my parents for a while, probably like a month. Then I was basically told that I couldn't live with my parents. And so when I left there, I slept in my car for a few months, y'all. I basically was like going from house to house, and like on the weekends, like I would stay with my cousin, and then I would stay like with a friend on this weekend. Like it was a mess, y'all. And I would say it was a mess because that was my first time having to do something like that, you know. And in this time, I've been hearing stories where people have been like, you know, it's okay to have to start over. You know, I've met people who have told me, you know, their testimonies, and they were like, you know, I've had to sleep in my car, or I was jumping from family member house to family member house, and, you know, it's okay. You know, and I had to learn that it's literally okay. Like, I feel like it's probably because I'm only 24 and I had thought that I had everything that I wanted in life until it was all taken away, and then you have to start over, and it's like you really don't know what to do. So it's like, okay, sleeping on somebody else's couch, you start to feel like a burden to them, you know, because they're not used to you being there 24/7, you know what I'm saying? And you don't ever want to be a burden to somebody in their house, you know what I'm saying? So those are the mental struggles that I was having, you know, sleeping on somebody else's couch, you know, and just feeling like you're a burden. But like I said, this is all me up here mentally. That's how I'm thinking, that's how I'm feeling, you know. But that could have been nobody but the enemy, you know. I feel like he wanted me to go back and probably sleep in my car, you know, and feel alone and all of that stuff, you know, that type of thing. But I was able to push through, and I fought, and I was surrounded by a lot of love and comfort, just family. But so yeah, y'all, that was going on. And then finally April, because I was literally, y'all, I was up at 3 a.m. so many times praying and talking to God, and, you know, crying about me having my own space. And let me tell y'all something. God's timing, his timing is never like our time. I remember when I was so upset at the beginning of this year of 2024, January. I'm literally sitting in my car at my storage unit, crying my eyes out, because I'm like, Jesus, please. I'm ready for my own place. I'm ready for my own space again. Like, I'm ready. You know, like, I've never had to do this before. I've never had to experience this. So, you know, I'm kind of throwing a pity party, if you will. And it was, let me see, January, February, March. I was probably, yeah, it took about 4 months, 4 months, until I got into my own space. After crying and everything, I had when I was working, I had a coworker tell me, and she was like, you need to reach out to this place, this organization. And I was like, okay. I just kept telling her okay, but I never did it. Somebody else came and told me that I needed to check into that. And I said, okay. And I finally went and did it. I finally reached out and told them, hey, I need help. This is my situation. I need help. That's what I did. I was blessed to be able to get into this homeless shelter, y'all. But with this particular shelter, you actually get like your own like apartment space. So it literally comes with bedroom, bath, you know, kitchen, the living room, the dining room, the whole 9 yards. Like, it's a regular schmegular apartment. They just, you know, use it as a shelter, as a homeless shelter for women and children. And so I was able to get in, and it's mandatory that weekly, Monday through Friday, I have devotional early in the mornings. I have to get up and I walk to devotional. It's a few blocks away from here, and I've been walking because, like I said in the previous video, that my car also broke down at the beginning of this year. So it's been like, what, 2-3 months since I haven't had my car now. Just imagine, like, God has literally been working in my life, in my family's life. Let me backtrack. When I came back to my hometown, I went back to working in the school district. And I was there for like, what, November, December, January, February. I was there for like maybe 4 months. It was very testy, y'all. When I came back, I got hired on quick, with the quickness, okay? And I thought everything was okay, but I kept having to miss work due to what was going on at the time. I had to, I had to take off back to back. I kept having to step out of the classroom, you know, talk to my lawyer and different people. Like, it was a lot going on to where the principal called me into his office, and I'm being dead serious. The principal called me into his office and was like wondering, was everything okay? Because he kept getting, you know, ear that, hey, you know, she's not in my class and she's leaving early, or she's not here. And then he also was able to see that I've been out a lot and I just got hired on. Like, you know what I'm saying? To just get hired on and you already having to take off back to back to back, you steady stepping out. So at this point, it looks like you're not doing your job. You know what I'm saying? And so getting called into the principal's office, it was just like a lot of pressure on me. So I had to tell him everything that I had going on. He was very shocked. Because I was coming to work, and when I was at work, I was coming to work and I was smiling every day, and you know, that type of thing. So I was just in good spirits, and he never would have imagined that was going on. And he was trying every type of way to help me out, right? And so basically he told me, he was like, well, it sounds like you need a part-time job. So I prayed about it and basically took that as, okay, I'm gonna have to leave here, right? Because he was right. I mean, I was on salary and I had a set schedule. So me having to be out like that, and then he steady getting ear about me being there and and not being there, like it can get annoying, you know. And like I said, it was a lot that I had going on, and it was pressure on me the moment I stepped into the office, and that was the conversation of the day. I was like, okay, yep, can't do it. Gotta go, right? So I ended up leaving there, and I was out of a job for like a month or two. And in that month or two, I was actually able to spend a lot of quality time with God and literally get closer to him in that time. And like I said, getting closer to him in that time, that's when I accepted that, okay, let me go ahead and come to the shelter. So going forward now, got to the shelter. The lady was, you know, very helpful to me, and have my own space and everything like that. It also comes with a finance requirement. I'm not just trying to put all my business out there, but I'm saying this to hopefully encourage and to inspire somebody, you know what I'm saying? And I feel at peace, and I feel okay to be able to say this on camera. So I've always struggled with finance, like trying to not spend my money. Like, I think I've only saved a little over $3,000, like, ever in my life. Ever. I've only saved $3,000. And that was, like I say, once in my life. I struggle with impulsive buying. Like, if I want something, best believe I'ma get it. And I feel like God has been trying to break me out of that habit and deal with me in that area, because obviously he wants to take me higher. But if he's giving me a little and I'm not taking care of the little that he has given me, why would he give me more? I understand now, today, I understand what God is trying to do and trying to break off of me, right? Financially. So the requirement financially to even be here, I have to give 50% of my paycheck. 50% of what I make. Not a month, but every single time. Every 2 weeks, I gotta get 50% of my paycheck. But wait, in the beginning, it sounded like, what? I'm not doing that. You know, like, this is a homeless shelter. I'm not doing that. And I didn't have a job at the time. Like, I had left the school. And then after I left the school, 2 months later, I came to the shelter. So I didn't have a job at the time to even give them that. But she was like, well, when you find one, this is what you're going to have to do. So I was like, okay, whatever, right? So once I got my job and I got my first paycheck, I was mad, because I was like, oh yeah, we got money to blow. And then I thought about it. I said, oh nope, wait a minute, hold up, you got to get 50% of this. But the great thing about it is, and God is so good, me giving them the 50% of my paycheck every 2 weeks is not giving it to them just for them to have it, just for them to pocket it. They open up a savings fund for you, and they put that 50% in a savings. When she was talking to me about this, she was like, people have left here with over $1,000. So when they get them, you know, their own apartment, their own place, or if they decide to just go and get a house, you know, they have a lot of money saved for the deposit, you know, to turn on the electricity and, you know, all of that, right? Like, it's amazing. It's amazing being able to talk to someone and they give you wisdom, right? Because I didn't think of it like that. I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, it's gonna help me in the future, but it's not gonna help me for right now. Like, my situation is completely different from a lot of the people that are here, because I have talked to a lot of, you know, a lot of different people that are here as well. And yeah, our situations are completely different. Like, they don't have any bills. Like, the vehicles that they have, their vehicles are paid off. You know, they're paid off and they don't have to worry about a car note, car insurance. They, you know, don't really have to worry about paying an expensive phone bill. Now, that's on me, because I decided to keep my little iPhone and I just upgraded to a 15 Pro Max. I don't know who told me to do that, but anyway. And I got Verizon and they expensive. And we ain't gonna even get into that. Anyway, moral of the story, like, I still have bills that I have to pay. So when I give you this 50% and this is what I got left, I gotta pay my bills, and then I only got $2 in my account. Like, baby, what I'm supposed to do with, I can't even give me a piece of gum with $2. Okay, so I was just trying to understand, like, now God, it's gonna help me later, but it ain't helping me right now, because I need to eat, ain't got no groceries, and I got $2 in my bank account. Y'all, when I tell y'all the struggle was real that first month or second month, yeah, the first month, because I did get a job like two weeks later after being here for 2 weeks, yeah. So the struggle was real, because I was like, okay, how I'm finna eat? But by the grace of God, let me tell you, I had to literally trust in God, put my trust in God, because you will never lack anything that you need. You may not have everything that you want, but he will always provide you with your needs. Okay? Hear me when I tell you this. I was not starving. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to remember Jesus. People were feeding me. People were feeding me, y'all. Whether they were bringing me plates or they were picking me up and they was taking me to eat. We go to McDonald's, go get wings, and they was paying. Not even knowing that I didn't have no money in my account. Because, baby, I will tell you, yeah, let's go to the restaurant and I'll just sit there and get a water and watch you eat. And I would have been okay. But the fact that you don't even know my situation and you still decided that, oh, well, let me pay for it. Let me take care. When I tell you God will provide and he will take care of you, y'all better know that. And the people that do know my situation, baby, they fed me. They still feed me. Somebody just brought me a plate today. Like, look at God. Won't he do it? My parents fed me yesterday. Look at God. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? My daddy cooked brisket. What else he made? My mama made the beans. Yeah, potato salad. Y'all, it was a blessing. It was a blessing. Now, I should have made me a plate to bring home today, but I didn't. I don't know what was on my mind. It was too early when I got home this morning. But anyway, God will provide, y'all, for real. And just being here has been a blessing. So now let me tell y'all, because I know that I moved into a new unit. When I first got here on April 1st, the unit that they first put me in, that first night being there, y'all, I remember I was laying down and I was getting ready to go to bed. And I had just finished praying. And God said, you have to be humble enough to accept the blessing. Humble enough to accept the blessing. I would always hear about homeless shelters, but I've never in my life had to stay in one. So for somebody to constantly be in my ear telling me, you need to go to the shelter, you need to go to, I just was like, I have family that I can stay with. I don't want to do that, but you know what I'm saying? That type of thing. And like I said, that probably was like very prideful of me because I didn't know what God had here waiting for me. It has been a blessing being here, y'all. Blessing. I tell you, blessing, okay? And even though I was complaining a lot in the beginning, I'm very grateful now because I'm being able to save money. I'm being fed, spiritually and physically, okay? Like, I literally have my own space, y'all. Like, people love me, and that makes me happy. I'm trying not to cry. So, Jesus, okay. Being there, I stayed in my room a lot. Like I said, it's a whole apartment, but I stayed like literally in my room a lot of the time because there was like an awkward smell in that one. And it was like an ancient smell. Like it was just been closed up for months. Like nobody had, like it was abandoned or something. Like it was spider webs and stuff. And, it was just a lot going on. It was just a lot going on. Okay, we just gonna say that. But I was humble enough to stay and not complain about being there and what I didn't like about it. Even though it was not pleasing to my eyes, I had to stay there for a reason, okay? God has shown me why I had to be there. And I'm grateful for the lesson. And So last week or week before last, something happened, and I went to the lady that was being helpful, and I told her that I wanted to leave the program because of this, and just being super stressed out about different things and da-da-da-da. And so she was like, okay, well, if you're gonna be leaving, I'm gonna give you your money back and da-da-da-da-da, your 50% of your paychecks. And I was like, okay. Now, of course, everything that I put in, that sounded very good, right? When I leave the program at the end of the week, it sounded very good that I was gonna get all that money back. And the first thing on my mind was, okay, when I get this money back, I'm finna go spend it on this. And it's like, really? Don't you know God is trying to break you from that? You know what I'm saying? I don't think that it was time for me to leave. I ended up, after talking to her about it, and we had that conversation, I was set on leaving. And I was like, okay, fine. Whatever it is, what it is. Whoop-de-woo. And she was like, well, where are you going to go? And this and this and that. I was like, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Like, y'all, when I tell you, I was in my mind, I was in my flesh, and I was like, I can't. I'm tired. I hate giving 50% of my paycheck. It's not helping me right now because I'm literally broke, and it's going to help me when I get my own place eventually, but right now it's not helping me. I still have bills, and stuff is overdrafted out my account. Like, I'm not going to continue to stay and do this, right? Like I say, I'm in the flesh, right? Not really thinking that God provides. He's going to take care of me no matter what my bank account look like, no matter what I got going on, he going to take care of it and he going to provide, right? That wasn't my level of thinking at that time, y'all. So, and the Spirit is with me. I feel his presence. Thank you, Jesus. That's where I was at, right? And so it took me 2 days, and I had to talk to God and ask him. God woke me up at 4:00 in the morning. The day before, no, 2 days before I was supposed to be moving out of that unit. God woke me up at 4 in the morning to talk to him and spend some time with him. I got up and I said, okay, Lord, I see what time it is. You want to talk? Let's talk. So I was talking to him and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if you want me to stay. I don't know if you want me to go. I need a sign. I need you to send me something. I need you to speak to me. I need to hear your voice right now. Because I don't know. I'm lost. And I feel like I got off track. Just me spending time with God, talking to him and having, that intimacy, right? Before I laid down, y'all, to get ready to go back to sleep, I received 2 text messages. And at this point, it's 5, 6 in the morning now, and I'm receiving text messages. It was a blessing to receive those messages because that's probably where I thought about going back to if I would have left the shelter. So I was like, okay, God, we just had this conversation, and now the place where I was thinking about going back to, you literally allowed me to get a message from them. Okay, what does this mean? Right? So then something came over me, and then I reached out to the lady, and I was like, hey, so I'm willing to stay, and I would do XYZ. And she didn't text me back, y'all. I was kind of worried. So then she ended up texting me like later that day while I was at work, and she was like, come into my office and we could talk. And I was like, okay. So once I got off of work, I ended up going to talk to her or whatever, and I was like, I'ma stay. And she was like, okay, but if you stay, this is what's gonna happen. And I was like, okay, no problem. So me being in that unit downstairs, I literally was praying to God, because remember I was telling y'all the smell, I just could not stand the smell. Like, I did not want to cook in that unit or nothing because of the smell and the spider webs, and like it was a lot going on. I didn't like it. I was crying to God about getting me into my own space, like my own place now. Like, I'm in the shelter, but I'm ready for like my own apartment. Like, I'm ready for a lease, you know. And it wasn't time for that. It just wasn't time for that, y'all. So I was crying about that. So when I went to go talk to her that day, that actually came up in the conversation. She was like, well, if you're gonna stay, then you may have to go upstairs to unit da 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 da, and yeah. And I was like, okay. So the next day, I was at work, and I literally reached out to her, and I was like, hey, can I move in today? And she texted me back. She was like, yes. And y'all, I got so excited. The people at work, this man, I was ringing him up, and he was like, you're having a great day, huh? And I was like, I sure am. It is such a great day. I said, I'm so happy to be alive. I said, God is so good. And he was like, yeah, amen, amen. Like, that message just lit my spirit up, y'all. It lit my spirit up because I was just so excited to get into a new unit. Like, God literally heard me and knew that it was time for me to go to a new unit. But let me tell y'all the crazy part about it. I had a dream. Like, after I told her that I would stay, I ended up having a dream when I was in the other unit that I was literally praying. I was in a different space. I was in an apartment, but I was in a different space, and I was like praying and prophesying in that space. And like just casting out things that were there. And I didn't really know exactly what that meant. I didn't know if it was for this unit or for what's to come after I leave the shelter. I don't know, right? But of course, you know, I'm taking it. God is giving it, and I'm taking it, okay? She is taking it, honey. Yes. Okay. Back on topic. So, yeah, y'all, I literally moved into my unit that same day that she texted me yes. And let me just be real. My body is so sore. Moving upstairs. I'm sore. Like, yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, guys, that's how I got into this new unit, as well as we had to talk about how I kind of came back and what was going on with my job and everything like that. So I hope I didn't leave nothing out. Thank you, best friend, for tuning into my video today. I really hope that you enjoyed talking with me today. And I will definitely see you next week. My goal is really to like start making more videos, but as I said in the previous video, I really don't know what to film now that, you know, my lifestyle is completely different. I mean, of course, I want to be honest with y'all and be transparent. Of course, it's just like I'm just stuck, I guess, on creative. Let's use that word, creative content ideas, you know. Yeah, that's where I'm stuck at, just being creative with it. It's getting late. I need to go and get my shower because I got to get up early in the morning and I got to work tomorrow. So I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, best friend.